Freddy Fazbear and his cast of animatronic pals have been on the forefront of internet culture since we first met them in 2014, and through all the horrifying jump scares, harrowing adventures, and terrifying spreadsheets to keep track of the lore, some facts were bound to slip under your radar. Hi, I'm Jacob with the Leaderboard, and I'm here to fill you in on some little-known info about everyone's favorite animatronic bear and pizza franchise. This is 5 Five Nights at Freddy's facts that'll blow your mind. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to become part of our notification squad. So what's next for FNAF? As of right now, the future of the franchise is up in the air. Creator Scott Cawthon has confirmed that the main story has been wrapped up since the release of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, and that he'll no longer be a one-man team. He wanted to finish this chapter of the series himself and has turned down opportunities with more prominent publishers to complete it alone. Following the release of Pizzeria Simulator, Cawthon is going to revisit some of his previous projects, which means that there is a chance that we can get some more Five Nights at Freddy's games in the future, or possibly a new Chipper & Sons lumber company. At the time of recording this video, there's been no more news on this front, but given the success of this franchise, it seems more than likely that a publisher will pick up the IP. Cawthon insists that if there's ever going to be another Five Nights game, he'd want an experienced publisher to work on it to make the game something incredible. As far as the story goes, it's possible that the next game could look to the future, in the same vein as the first novel, Five Nights at Freddy's The Silver Eyes, which takes place 10 years after Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has been shut down. Unfortunately, we could still be years away from a new FNAF game, but Cawthon didn't want to leave us hanging. A couple days after he made his official announcement that he would no longer be working on future games, Cawthon revealed that based on community feedback, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator would be receiving a custom night update, which Cawthon is calling the Ultimate Custom Night, so get hype! The custom nights have been a staple of Five Nights at Freddy's games since the very first game was released in 2014. The game mode grants players complete freedom over gameplay and gives them the options to set custom difficulty levels and add or remove animatronics from the map. And if you're anything like us here at the Leaderboard, it means that you crank every setting up to maximum difficulty and then you add in every possible animatronic while trying to survive the entire night and failing horribly, over and over again. The Custom Night mode offers significant replayability, and that's not all. In addition to the endless possibilities, Custom Night also offers extra little bits of lore for the franchise's overarching story. In the case of Pizzeria Simulator, though, since pretty much all of the major loose ends were tied up and resolved over the course of the game, Cawthon has said that Pizzeria Simulator's Custom Night will offer new developer diary content instead of story details. Custom Night for Pizzeria Simulator is set to feature every animatronic in the series, which is both incredibly exciting and terrifying, as if I needed another game for the puppet to terrorize me in. Right now, Cawthon is about 3/4 of the way done with the update, and you can check his progress over at scottgames.com. But remember, a watch pot never boils, and in the case of Scott Cawthon, there's a solid chance that if you stare at that progress bar long enough, an animatronic mascot might jump out of your screen and scare you. I have no idea if this will actually happen, but don't stare at the progress bar, and if an animatronic does scare you, I told you so. Cawthon has said that each character is worth about 2% of the bar, so you can go ahead and use your own math skills to figure out how many more he has to add at this point. But if math isn't your thing, allow me to help you out. Right now, Cawthon's goal is to have the Custom Night update finished for the 4-year anniversary of the first Five Nights at Freddy's game, which would make August 8th the tentative release date. Oh, and of course, it'll be free. This is some exciting news, unless you are among the fans hoping for an endless Pizzeria Tycoon game, but don't worry, Cawthon hasn't ruled it out yet. If games aren't your thing, though, what are you doing here? How did you get to this part of the internet? But if that's somehow true and you still want to know what all the FNAF hype is about, then maybe you want to check out the FNAF book trilogy. Plot details for the third book in the series, Five Nights at Freddy's The Fourth Closet, were just revealed on Amazon last month. According to the Amazon page, the Fourth Closet focuses more on the present day rather than the past like the first two books did. Most importantly, for fans of the series, the third book will answer how Charlie was able to survive the events of the Twisted Ones. The Fourth Closet will once again be co-written by Cawthon and Kira Breed-Risley and is set to be released on June 26th, 2018. But outside of books, Five Nights at Freddy's is also apparently getting a movie adaptation. The first talk of a film started way back in April of 2015 when Warner Brothers Pictures acquired the rights to adapt Five Nights at Freddy's into a movie. Seth Grahame-Smith was listed as a producer for the movie and wanted to make an insane, terrifying, and weirdly adorable movie. Shortly after, in July of 2015, Gil Kenan was announced as the director and co-writer of the FNAF movie, along with Tyler Burton Smith as the other co-writer. Throughout 2015, Kenan posted several pictures online of animatronic mock-ups that we can only assume were for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. However, nothing is a guarantee in Hollywood, and in January of 2017, Cawthon stated that partially due to problems within the movie industry as a whole, any progress on the movie had effectively been scrapped, and the project was back to square one without a director, or writer, or Warner Brothers. Determined to see the project through, Cawthon promised to be involved with the movie from day one. In March of 2017, Cawthon announced that Blumhouse Productions obtained the rights and would be adapting the movie. Blumhouse is most famous for their low-budget but massively profitable horror films, such as Get Out, Insidious, The Purge, Split, and Paranormal Activity, just to name a few. And after that great news, the news just kept getting better. In February of 2018, legendary movie maker Chris Columbus signed on to write, direct, and produce the movie adaptation of Five Nights at Freddy's. Early on in his career, Columbus was a screenwriter and he worked on some classic 80s movies like Gremlins, The Goonies, and Young Sherlock Holmes. As a director, Columbus has worked on Home Alone, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, among other films. Last but not least, Columbus was a producer on Night of the Museum, which might not exactly be a horror movie, but it is a movie about wax figures and museum paraphernalia coming to life, so that experience will probably translate pretty well to Five Nights at Freddy's. There's no words on a release date or anything yet, but things are definitely trending upwards for the movie. As I mentioned earlier, the release of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator unpacked a lot of the series' major lore questions, so let's go over a few. First, we have some pretty solid evidence that the cassette man in Pizzeria Simulator is Henry, William Afton's business partner. Henry first appeared in the Five Nights at Freddy's novel, The Silver Eyes. According to Scott Cawthon, The Silver Eyes is a canonical story in the Five Nights universe, but is set in an alternate reality because it was difficult to tell the story of the games within the same timeline. I wonder whose fault that is, Scott? I'm joking, but seriously, the story is really complicated. In the novel, it's revealed that Henry is the co-owner of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and the one who first invented the iconic animatronics in Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie the Bunny, and Chica the Chicken. However, unlike William, Henry was a good and innocent man. He never wanted to hurt people. The novel reveals that he was tricked by William into creating animatronics that would kill children, and eventually the guilt from it caused him to close down the restaurant and commit suicide. The evidence that Henry is the cassette man can be seen during the insanity ending for Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. There's a hidden audio file labeled HRY223 where the cassette man can be heard confirming that he accidentally helped William Afton by creating the animatronics and he wants to right William's wrongdoings. Based on the audio file, it sounds like Henry wants to atone and destroy all of the remaining animatronics haunted by the spirits, which is why they're gathered all throughout the game. In the true ending of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, we also learn the identity of Circus Baby. After a creepy bit of dialogue from Circus Baby, Henry/Cassette Man says, "I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you even still remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed." The line all but confirms that the soul of Elizabeth Afton is in the body of Circus Baby, and also as a general note, just let us know that Ice Cream Girl's name was Elizabeth, which really makes doing these videos so much easier, because now YouTubers can just say Elizabeth instead of Ice Cream Girl. Oh, who am I kidding? No one's gonna do that. Lastly, we learned that Henry's daughter was one of the first victims that William killed. After playing the security puppet game a third time, we learned that a child wearing a green bracelet was left out in the rain. Once the puppet is finally able to get outside, the daughter is dead and the puppet short circuits. In the true ending of FNAF 6, Henry says, "My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew that you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day."
I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours.
In the Insanity ending, Henry also alludes to the fact that his daughter was murdered by William in the HRY223 audio file. With the game ending in the pizzeria going up in flames, it's pretty safe to assume that all of the events that happened in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator were an elaborate plan by Henry to put an end to the Afton family and the entire story of the franchise. There are still some mysteries that are left unanswered, of course, but hey, that's what sequels are for. And what would FNAF be without sequels? I'm Jacob, and thanks for watching our 5 little-known FNAF facts. Which one did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments below. We have new videos dropping every day, so let us know what you want us to cover next. Don't forget to click that bell icon to become part of our notification squad, and if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.